What if the deepest place on Earth isn't somewhere we can see, but somewhere we can only reach by descending nearly 11 kilometers beneath the ocean's surface? Picture the Pacific Ocean stretching endlessly above you, while far below, sunlight fades, pressure becomes crushing, and the cold settles in. It feels like the last place anything could exist. And yet, life does. At the bottom of the Mariana Trench, nearly 11 kilometers down, pressure rises to more than 1,000 times what we feel at sea level. It's enough to destroy a human instantly and challenge even our strongest machines. This environment should be empty, silent, dead. But it isn't. Today, we're descending into the deepest point on Earth ever measured, the Challenger Deep, to explore how life survives in the most extreme place on Earth. If you're ready to journey into the ocean's deepest frontier, stick around. And if deep-sea mysteries are your thing, hit like and subscribe. There's much more waiting below. The ocean may appear as one continuous body of water, but it is divided into distinct layers, each defined by light, pressure, and temperature. As we descend, the environment changes steadily, shaping how life can exist. The journey begins at the surface in the epipelagic zone, or sunlight zone, which extends down to about 200 meters. This is the only part of the ocean where sunlight supports photosynthesis. Microscopic phytoplankton form the base of nearly all marine food webs, sustaining the vast and familiar marine life we recognize. Below this, from roughly 200 to 1,000 meters, lies the mesopelagic, or twilight zone. Sunlight fades into a dim blue glow, pressure increases rapidly, and temperatures fall. Many animals here rely on bioluminescence, producing their own light to hunt, hide, or communicate in the permanent dusk. Beyond 1,000 meters, the ocean enters the bathypelagic, or midnight zone. Here, sunlight disappears entirely. Temperatures hover near freezing, pressure becomes extreme, and life grows sparse. Creatures are slow-moving, energy-efficient, and highly specialized for darkness. From about 4,000 to 6,000 meters, we reach the abyssopelagic zone, which covers much of the deep sea floor. This region is cold, silent, and almost completely dark. With no sunlight and little food, life depends on organic material drifting down from above, falling slowly through the water like marine snow. These layers make up the vast majority of the ocean's depth. But they are still not the deepest part. At these depths, evolution sometimes takes a surprising turn. In parts of the abyssal zone, some animals grow far larger than their shallow water relatives, a phenomenon known as deep-sea gigantism. In cold, dark environments where food is scarce, larger bodies can be an advantage. They lose heat more slowly, require fewer meals relative to their size, and can endure long periods without food. This is why creatures like giant isopods and colossal squid are found in these depths. Deep-sea gigantism is something we've already explored on this channel, and if that topic caught your interest, you can click the video on screen to learn more, but this trend has limits. As we move deeper toward the Hadal zone, extreme pressure and even scarcer food begin to favor smaller, softer, and simpler bodies. Massive forms give way to organisms built for flexibility and biochemical resilience. In the deepest parts of the ocean, survival is no longer about size, but about enduring conditions that push life to its absolute limits. Beyond 6,000 meters, we cross into the hadalpelagic zone, the deepest and most extreme region of the ocean. Its name comes from Hades, the underworld of Greek mythology, and the comparison is fitting. This is a realm far removed from the surface world, where conditions push life to the very edge of what is possible. The Hadal zone exists only in deep-sea trenches, which are not gentle slopes, but long, narrow gashes torn into the seafloor. These trenches are formed by tectonic forces, where one massive plate of Earth's crust slowly slides beneath another. Over millions of years, this slow collision bends and cracks the planet's surface, creating chasms deeper than Mount Everest is tall. Here, the environment becomes almost unimaginable. The water is just above freezing, and the pressure is crushing, strong enough to deform metal and shatter glass. Sunlight has never reached this place. There are no seasons, no weather, and no sense of time as we know it. The ocean above presses down endlessly, turning every movement into an act of survival. This is not simply a deeper ocean, it is a separate world, shaped by darkness, pressure, and isolation. A place so extreme that even reaching it is a triumph, and surviving there is nothing short of extraordinary. The Mariana Trench is the deepest of them all, at the Challenger Deep. The Challenger Deep is the lowest known point on Earth's surface, located within the southern end of the Mariana Trench. It is not a single hole, but a broad, bowl-shaped depression at the trench's deepest point. Depths reach approximately 10,984 meters, though measurements vary slightly depending on technique. Pressure here exceeds 1,086 bar, more than 8 tons per square inch. Water temperatures hover between 1 and 4 degrees Celsius. There is no light, no refuge, no escape from the crushing weight above. This environment exists because of tectonic subduction, where the Pacific Plate is forced beneath the Philippine Plate, creating a steep, V-shaped chasm in the seafloor. It is one of the most extreme habitats on Earth, and one of the least explored. And this is where it gets really interesting. At the bottom of the Challenger Deep, the seafloor is not lifeless. It is quiet, subdued, and ghostly. But it is alive. The sediment is fine and pale, occasionally broken by rocks or small depressions. Movement is rare and slow. The dominant inhabitants here are not fearsome predators, but delicate specialists. One of the most remarkable is the Mariana snailfish, also called the Pseudoliparis. This small, pinkish, translucent fish holds the record as the deepest living fish ever observed, seen at depths of 8,000 to 8,200 meters. About a foot long, it looks almost unfinished, scaleless, gelatinous, and soft. That softness is its strength. The snailfish has no swim bladder, which would collapse under pressure. Instead, its body bends and flexes, distributing stress evenly. It accumulates high levels of trimethylamine N-oxide, also known as TMAO, a compound that stabilizes proteins under intense pressure, essentially a form of biochemical armor. Its genome shows adaptations for DNA repair and stress response, allowing it to survive where most vertebrates cannot. Deeper still, amphipods dominate the ecosystem. These shrimp-like scavengers swarm bait dropped by research landers, consuming whatever organic matter reaches the bottom. Some species grow large in shallower Hadal regions, but at the deepest depths, even amphipods become smaller and more specialized. Shockingly, many of them ingest plastic debris, synthetic particles that have sunk from the surface. Their symbiotic gut bacteria help produce compounds that protect their cells from pressure, but they cannot distinguish food from pollution. Scattered across the sediment are xenophyophores, the largest single-celled organisms on Earth. These amoeba-like protists can grow 4 to 20 centimeters across, building intricate shells from sediment grains. They create tiny habitats that shelter bacteria, worms, and other microscopic life, forming small islands of biodiversity in the abyss. At the base of the food web are microbes. In some areas, chemosynthetic bacteria use chemicals like hydrogen sulfide instead of sunlight to produce energy. Tiny worms, mollusks, and foraminifera burrow through the sediment, feeding slowly and reproducing infrequently. Life here is fragile, growth is slow, reproduction is rare. Entire populations can depend on a narrow balance of temperature, chemistry, and food supply. These are not monsters of the deep. They are quiet survivors, living at the edge of what biology allows. And here comes the shocker. You see, it will surprise you to know that reaching the Challenger Deep is one of the most difficult feats in exploration. Very few people have ever been there, fewer than those who have walked on the moon. Can you imagine a place on Earth less explored than outer space? The first exploration was in 1960. Jacques Piccard and Don Walsh descended in the bathyscaphe Trieste, reaching nearly 10,900 meters. During the dive, a window cracked under the immense pressure. They remained on the seafloor for about 20 minutes, seeing stirred sediment and what may have been a sea cucumber. In 2012, filmmaker James Cameron made a solo dive in the Deep-Sea Challenger, describing the bottom as a desolate alien moonscape, flat, gray, and eerily quiet. In 2019, explorer Victor Vescovo piloted the DSV limiting factor to the trench multiple times, reaching depths around 10,928 meters. These dives mapped the terrain, collected biological samples, and recorded unprecedented footage. Shortly after, China's Fendoujie submersible reached similar depths, revealing high microbial diversity and previously unknown species. These missions rely on titanium pressure spheres, syntactic foam, and painstaking engineering. Robotic landers drop bait to attract scavengers, but sediment clouds, darkness, and crushing pressure make every image a hard-won glimpse into the unknown. And yet, even here, more than 10 kilometers below the surface, we find evidence of ourselves. Plastic bags, candy wrappers, microplastics, persistent industrial pollutants banned decades ago now appear in the tissues of deep-sea animals. The Hadal zone is not isolated. It is connected to the surface by gravity, currents, and time. What we discard above eventually sinks below. So, the next time you imagine the deepest ocean as empty, lifeless, or forgotten, remember this: it isn't. In the crushing silence of the Hadal zone, life doesn't rush, compete, or dominate. It endures. Every creature down there is shaped by the same relentless forces: pressure, cold, darkness, and time. No shortcuts, no excess. Only what works survives. These fragile forms were not designed to conquer their world. They were refined by it. Soft bodies, slow lives, quiet persistence, different solutions, all answering the same brutal question of how to exist where should fail. The trench doesn't reward strength or speed. It rewards balance, and that leaves us with one lingering thought. If life can adapt to the most extreme place on Earth, what else might still be waiting below, unseen and unchanged for millions of years? What lessons are written in a world we've barely touched? Let us know what you think in the comments. And if this journey into Earth's deepest frontier pulled you in, like and subscribe to join the next descent. Thanks for diving with us. See you in the next one.